Welcome back, guys. It is championship racing once again here at SARCO. We're in Christchurch, New Zealand, and we're at Rapuna Park for round 6 of 6 of the 73 BMW 2002 Stance Works. 3 drivers are fighting for the top spot, with Durkee on 196, Jakes is in second with 182, and Morris with that outside shot of a 178. We have 2 races, an 8 lap and a 16 lap, with each race starting positions being determined by a 5-minute qualifier. We have 2 lobbies, 2 races. Sit back and enjoy the highlights of all the races. So we'll start off in pool number 2, race 1. Sit back and enjoy this 8-lap race. Let's have a look at the starting lineup here for race number 1. In 10th place we have Yaku driving in car number 10, and he's alongside Hamid, who will be starting in car number 16, starting off in 9th place. Row number 4, in 8th place is Toki. He's in car number 90, and he is alongside a Dane, who starts off in 7th place in car number 81. We go to row number 3. In 6th place we have Ronaldo. He's in car number 70, and he is alongside the TTR driver Jacques, who starts us off in 5th place in car number 88. Row number 2, the Cape Town driver Ash, he's in car number 9, he's in 4th place, and he is alongside our Greek international Memo in car number 7, who starts off in his highest qualifying position for the series in 3rd place. We move to the front row. In 2nd place we have Rudy, he's in car number 58, and he is alongside the Green Mamba driver Dylan, who starts off on pole position. So sit back and enjoy this first race. As you wait for those green lights, there's Jacques, who's had a great start coming off the line. He's moved himself up alongside Memo. Well, Dylan sees him coming and just closes that door, not allowing Jacques to go through and take that first place, starting in 5th. Well, a bit of contact between Rudy and Ash as they go into turn number 1. But Dylan leads. Jacques is in 2nd place. That's Ash in 3rd. That looked like Toki up to 4th place. We jump on board with Ash as they come down the back straight, and they prepare to go into Cal Ford Camtech. Great line there by Ash, really putting some pressure here on Jacques. Oh, Ash unfortunately gets that power on, just loses that momentum coming out of that hairpin. As they come through Fulton, this tricky little left-hander, and prepare here for the crown lift. We have a look further back in the field. There's Toki, Hamid, Yaku, Ronaldo, Dane, then Rudy. Whoa, big oversteer moment there. That was Toki, who unfortunately ran very wide coming out of that, and that's allowed Hamid to move himself up a position. Yaku starting to get some pressure there from Ronaldo as they cross the line to begin lap number 2. Through this little left-hander kink, then hard on the brakes into the first corner. His driver still adjusting for positions. Well, there's Ronaldo making a move on Yaku as they prepare to go through pothole. Rudy is having a little look on the inside. Will there be contact? No, there isn't. Well, that was very tight there. Ronaldo taking a very wide line coming out of the hairpin. In shot, our race leader Dylan as he exits out of Crown Lift Carousel. We'll take a look at the positions. So Dylan, he still leads with Jacques in 2nd. Ash, he's in 3rd place, followed by Hamid in 4th, having started 9th on the grid. Toki, he's in 5th place with Yaku, he's in 6th, also having starting 10th on the grid. Rudy, he's in 7th place. Oh, there's Jacques having a little look around the outside. It looks like he's carried too much speed. Dylan will hold that place. Torquay, he's in 6th place. Ronaldo, he's in 7th. Rudy, he's in 8th, having started 2nd on the grid and taking a bump into the first corner. Dane, he's 9th, with Memo having started 3rd. He is down in 10th position. As they cross the line to begin lap number 3, that's Torquay, he's in car number 90, followed by Yaku in 10. That is Hamid on the outside as they go into that braking zone. Oh, Torquay's run very deep there. He's unfortunately gone off. You see in the background, that's Hamid in car number 16. He too has run himself wide. This is Yaku and Ronaldo all having a little touch as they start heading towards pothole. Yaku allows Ronaldo to go through. Ronaldo has moved himself up into 4th place. Yaku's in 5th. Hamid down into 6th. And Rudy now making his way into 7th place. A little nudge there by Yaku on the back of Ronaldo. Jump on board with Rudy as they come through this middle section. Looks like Rudy might have got himself a little slowdown penalty there for his efforts. You can hear he's now back on the power. Halfway through lap number 4 in shot, Torquay in car number 90. He's starting to make some headway here, and Dane in car number 81. As they go through Jeff's corner and prepare to go through the Kukram and Nissan down this little back straight. Hard on the brakes, a little tapping, get the nose turning in through the rock sweep. We're back on the power, down the drag strip. Oh, it looks like Torquay's got a great run on Dane as he moves himself to the outside. Will Torquay be able to go around the outside there? Yes, he has been able to. Much better line there by Torquay. Back to the front once again in shot. That was Dylan in car number 5, and here car number 88. That's Jacques, having started 5th on the grid, had a great start coming off the line, and he's got himself a nice and settled here in 2nd place. Here we're having a look at Ronaldo in car number 70. He's up into a 4th position, having started as 6th on the grid. Starting to find a rhythm here and really settling nicely. Captain driver Ash in car number 9. He's currently in 3rd place here on lap number 6. Ronaldo's starting to make some headway here on Ash, just closing down the gap. We'll see if Ronaldo can start putting some more pressure, force Ash into a mistake, and then move himself up into 3rd place. Race leader Dylan here on lap number 6. We'll have a quick look at the positions. So Dylan leads with Jacques in 2nd, Ash is 3rd, Ronaldo in 4th, Yaku, he's in 5th place with Hamid in 6th, Torquay 7th, Dane 8th, Rudy 9th, and Memo in 10th place. So we'll get the TTR driver Jacques to give us a tour of the lap as we come through turn number 1 here into Flexo Pass. Very tricky left-hander along the Castrol Straight, then a little tap off turn in through pothole as they head towards the hairpin and Calford Camtech. Gear down to 1st gear, back on the power, but you've got to just make sure you don't get a bit of oversteer. Then here through Fulton, little tricky left-hander. You want to get the power on nice and early here as you prepare to go through Crown Lift Carousel. Well, Jacques had a little bit of oversteer. He's had to come off the power there. Now running parallel with the main straight. Little tap off here into Jeff's. Set themselves up for a Kukram Nissan. You don't want to run wide there because there's a major penalty on the outside there. then into this very long left-hander through the rock sweep. And across the line to begin lap number 7. Race leader Dylan, he will go through the last corner for the last time. He'll prepare himself to cross the line. He will win here in race number 1. Jacques will finish second. Ash will finish third. Ronaldo, he'll come home in 4th place. Yaku will finish 5th. Hamid will come home in 6th with Toki in 7th. We'll just jump back here to Rudy and Memo. As we see, Memo will get the run on Rudy, needing to take a slowdown penalty. Memo, he will then cross the line in 8th place. Rudy 9th and Dane in 10th position. We're still in lobby number 2, but now we head to race number 2 for the 16 lap race. Enjoy. So we move to race number 2 here in lobby 2. We'd just like to welcome Savvy, who's sitting up in the monitoring box. We pan around and we look at the starting lineup. In 10th place we have Toki. He is in car number 90. He's behind Yaku, who's in car number 10, starting off in 9th place. We go forward to row number 4, and Dane, he's in car number 81. He is alongside Memo, starting off in 7th place in car number 7. Row number 3, that is Ash in car number 9. He's in 6th place, and he is alongside Rudy in car number 58 in 5th. I'm sure he's looking for a much better result this race. Row number 4, and the captain boy Hamid is in car number 16. He moves himself up into 4th, and he's alongside the TTR driver Jacques in car number 88 in 3rd place. The front row in 2nd place we have the green Mamba driver Dylan. He's in car number 5. He starts off in 2nd, and the new pole sitter for this race, that is Ronaldo in car number 70. He starts off in 1st place. Enjoy this race number 2. As you wait for the green light in picture, that Jacques has had a great start once again, coming off the line. He moves himself ahead of Ronaldo as they prepare to go into turn number 1 there at Flexo Pass. Jacques leads. That's Ronaldo 2nd. Dylan, he's in 4th place. That was Hamid. I thought, yes, that was Hamid. He's in 4th place. In 5th place, that looked like Yaku. As they go through the pothole, oh, that's Rudy running very wide there, coming through the pothole. We jump on board with Hamid as they go through the hairpin, very close there. That's Ronaldo, he's lost it coming out of the hairpin. So Dylan moves himself up into 2nd, Hamid moves to 3rd, and Yaku, he's now in 4th place. Very aggressive attack of the curb there by Dylan. Just slowed him up a bit. Hamid had almost gone right up the back of him. And we see Jacques in the background there. He's starting to pull away. But on closer inspection, Jacques had actually jumped the line, so he's got himself a drive-through penalty for his efforts. Hamid taking a lot of that inside curb. He'll move over. Looks like to take a slowdown penalty. Yaku will now move himself up into 3rd place. Great throttle control there by Hamid, just playing with that rev limiter, and they'll cross the line to begin lap number 2. There's Dane making a move here on Ronaldo. Will he try to go around the outside here as they go into turn number 1? Well, Memo has a big lockup going into Flexo Pass. He manages to avoid Dane. But it looks like Memo's now, he's got a much better run on Dane. Memo, he will move himself up as they go through pothole. Dane now starting to get pressure there from Rudy. Rudy manages to go around the outside of Dane. Dane, unfortunately, he now drops down to 10th place. This battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th is getting very heated. Well, that's the 2 Cape Town boys rubbing up against each other. It was Toki just going around the outside, but realizing he had to turn in a little bit sooner. So those positions are Jacques, Dylan, Yaku, Hamid, Ash, Toki, Ronaldo. Well, the two Cabs boys touch each other, they send each other off, but they manage to keep it together. There's a Toki, he'll go past, and Ronaldo will go past. That's Hamid now moving to the inside. We'll try and have a run on Ash going into turn number 1. That looked like that was Ronaldo. Well, it was Toki. He just managed to get out the way there. Lots of a close quarter battling right here. Toki giving Ash a little bit of a flash there. Oh, that's Hamid. He's lost it. Here we go back to the replay just to see what happened. See Hamid, as he flicked the car through, the rear just slipped. His partner Ash just knocks him out the way. That clears the path for Toki, and Toki will get himself 2 places. We catch up with our race leader Jacques as he crosses the line to begin his 4th lap. We'll take a look at what's happening in the positions. Jacques still leads, but still needing to take his drive-through penalty. Dylan is in 2nd with Yaku in 3rd. Ronaldo is in 4th. Toki, he's in 5th. Memo 6th. Rudy is in 7th. Ash is in 8th. Dane is in 9th. Hamid 10th. And Savvy's looking pretty up in the box. Ronaldo starting to make some headway on Yaku on lap number 5. As they prepare to go through the rock sweep. We'll see if Ronaldo can get right up behind Yaku and get that slipstream and help him for an overtake going into the next couple of corners. Very tricky little section here as you go through Flexo Pass, because you're turning left in the sweep, then you're hard on the brakes and you've got to make sure that that car is settled before you touch your brakes. Otherwise you just unstabilize that rear. You can either run yourself too deep or it just oversteers you. It looks like Ronaldo's definitely made some headway here on Yaku. Tucks up behind him. Will you have a look as they come into the hairpin at Calford Camtech? He has a look, but too far away. But Ronaldo's not giving up this fight just yet. As they go through Fulton and set themselves up now for Crown Lift. So the Crown Lift carousel. Ronaldo's definitely not making it easy for Yaku here. That looked like that was Jacques in 3rd place, so Dylan must have making a move past Jacques. We'll have a look on the inside. Yes, he does, but will Yaku see him there? Whoa, that was very close. It looks like Yaku's run himself wide. That'll allow Ronaldo to get up behind him and set up the slipstream going into this next corner. We're coming to the end of lap number 7, and Ronaldo's still putting lots of pressure here on Yaku, but it looks like Ronaldo will have the run as they go into the rock sweep. Yes, Ronaldo just stamps his authority, doesn't give Yaku an option, but Yaku now will tuck in behind Ronaldo as they cross the line to begin lap number 8. Will Yaku have a look on the inside as they prepare to go through a Flexo Pass? Yaku's having a look, but Ronaldo's carried way more speed than Yaku. We jump on board with Yaku further down on this lap. Ronaldo goes very deep. Yaku finds the inside line, just leaves enough space there for him, and Yaku will move himself back into 3rd place ahead of Ronaldo, who's now in 4th. In shot, that's our 5th place driver, Toki. He's got Ash behind him. And there's Rudy starting to make his way through the field. Ash from the captain. Boys climbs up on the curb. That's put the rear around. Ash is definitely not having a good event here. We see that's Rudy. Rudy will now go past Ash. And Ash will now drop down into 7th place. We jump back to the leaders. Dylan, he's in first place, still being harassed here by Jacques. Jacques still needing to take his drive-through penalty as they go through the rock sweep. Jacques really starting to apply the pressure here on Dylan as they cross the line to begin a lap at number 10. Very tidy for both those drivers going through Flexo Pass. Flicking it through here at the pothole. Then hard on the brakes here at Calford Camtech. It looks like Jacques ran himself a little bit wide there. Just losing some of that momentum he had on Dylan. As they go through Fulton. And this tricky little left-hander as they prepare to go around the crown lift carousel. Very tight lines for both the drivers there. A little flick off as they go through Jeff's. Touch of the brakes to get the nose in as they go through Kukrem Nissan. Down the back straight and then around the rock sweep once again. Little Jacques got very wide there. That's allowed Dylan to pull away. As they cross the line, we'll have a look at the position. So Dylan still leads with Jacques in second, Yaku's in third, Ronaldo fourth, Torquay, he's in fifth place, Rudy is in sixth, Ash, he's in seventh place with Dane in eighth, Hamid is in ninth with Memo in 10th place. Our fifth place driver, Torquay, he's in car number 19 as he crosses the line. He's really looking comfortable here in this race. As it goes into turn number 1 for a big lockup. He's unfortunately completely miscalculated that corner and he's unfortunately gone off. He jumps in the middle of the pack and the Cape Town boys are once again close together. We see Ash moving well out of the way. I think he might have got a little slowdown penalty, but he's now allowed his teammate to go through, and Ash once again touches the back of Hamid. I'm sure these guys will be having some team talks after this race. So Hamid bobbing and weaving to try and not let Ash get that slipstream. Just remembering that Hamid earlier on this lap at number 1, he landed up being unfortunately clipped by his teammate and been sent up and over for a tumble. We see Ash now comes back, Hamid moves out of the way and allows his partner to take back that position. We are coming near the end of lap number 14. We watch Jacques as he takes his drive-through penalty. We'll quickly just watch what's happening in the positions. So there's Yaku, he'll now come past Jacques. Ronaldo will come past Jacques. So Jacques will drop down into 4th place. So race leader Dylan, he will come out of the last corner for that last time. He will cross the line in 1st place with Yaku in 2nd, Ronaldo in 3rd. Jacques will finish 4th with Rudy 5th, Hamid 6th, Memo 7th, Dane will come home in 8th, Ash in 9th, and Torquay will retire. And now we head to Pool 1, race number 1. Sit back and enjoy. Let's have a look at the starting lineup here. Race 1 in Pool 1. Starting off in 9th place, we have Andrew from the Green Numbers. He's in car number 5. We move to row 4. In 8th place is Durkee. He's in car number 73, our championship leader, and he lines up against Clive in car number 91 in 7th place for Zeta Racing. We move to row 3. In Sixth place is Colin, he's in car number 16, and he lines up against the vacant fifth place Ross, unfortunately disqualifying himself in qualifying. We move to row number 2, and the TTR driver Dupi, he's in car number 89 in fourth place, and he lines up against Gerard from Tosco. Gerard in car number 45 in third place. We move to the front row. In second place we have Marius, currently third in the championship. Marius drives in car number 70 and he sits on 174 points. He lines up against the second placed overall driver Jakes. Jakes drives in car number 84 and he takes pole position for this race number 1. Sit back and enjoy this race. As we wait for those green lights, and off we go. Well, Carol's got a great start off the line. It looks like the Dupi lagged a little bit behind there. Jakes is away clean. Marius tucks in behind him as they head into turn number 1. Well, there's Andrew. He's moved from 9th place. He's taken 3 places off the start. We'll definitely have to go back and see what had happened there as we follow Marius and Gerard. They go through the pothole. Well, Andrew's moved on the inside of Clyde, and Andrew's now moved himself from a 9th place all the way up into 4th. We have a little look on the inside for Marius. Oh, a little touch on the back of Gerard. It looks like Andrew, he's made that move stick, but Marius now comes back as they head through Jeff's. Big lock up there by Gerard. So I just want to see what happened at the start there. So coming off the line, Colin gets a great start, Dirkie gets a great start. Colin just stops right behind Dupi. Dirk, he manages to avoid Colin, who had stopped right behind him, and that allowed Andrew to move up those 3 places. Big moment for our championship leader there, Dirk. Sure, he didn't expect to stop Colin on the start. Jump on board with our championship leader Dirkie as they go through Crown's Lift. Dirkie chases Andrew here in the green car, the green number 5, just ahead of him. Well, that was Marius. Looks like he went a little bit wide coming out of that corner. Oh, Marius moved to the left to defend his line. Andrew was right behind him. Unfortunately, a little touch there. That's allowed Andrew to move himself up into 3rd. Dirkie, he follows Andrew through. He overtakes Marius, and Marius, he unfortunately drops down into 5th place. Dirkie moves to the inside, trying to get a run on Andrew as they go into the first corner. Flexo pass. Marius is still very much in that battle. Dirkie sets himself up at the inside. Oh, Andrew takes a little bit of grass as he went into that braking zone. That's allowed Marius to move himself into an attacking position as they come through Castrol and set themselves for the pothole. Oh, Marius, he moves to the inside. Unfortunately, Andrew, he runs himself wide and makes it quite an easy overtake for Marius in the end there. Lap number 2, and our race leader Jakes currently 2nd in the championship. Take a look at those positions. Jakes leads with Gerard in 2nd, Dirkie's 3rd. 4th is Marius with 5th Andrew. Oh, Jakes runs very wide as he came out of Jeff's. Colin, he is 6th with Clive in 7th. Dupi, he's in 8th place with Ross watching from the pits. Well, Gerard starting to put some pressure here on Jakes as they exit out of the rock sweep. Coming to the end of lap number 3. You can see that the guys are starting to spread themselves out a little bit. Well, that looks like Marius went a little bit wide there. Jake still leads with Gerard 2nd, Dirkie's 3rd, Marius 4th. It's Andrew 5th. On the background there, that was Colin. He unfortunately lost it coming out of Cookram. Well, Marius must have got a slowdown penalty as he just moved over to the side. It's allowed Andrew to move himself up into 4th. Marius is now in 5th place. So Jakes is still in charge of this race. Gerard still not really letting him get away that easily. As Jakes, he goes through Kukram Nissan. So Jake still leads with Gerard second. That's Dirkie, he's in third. Andrew in fourth. We jump on board with Gerard as he crosses the line to begin a lap at number 5. He'll take us for a tour through turn number 1 into Flexo Pass. Very tricky braking zone because you've got that little kink just before. The runoffs on this track are extremely tight, so the guys go through Castrol and setting themselves up for a pothole. It's very easy to run yourself wide there and get yourself that slowdown penalty. Then here into Calford. Oh, unfortunately we see Gerard, he just goes straight on. That's the wheel that he has, unfortunately going into a fake menu. It's just trying to get the power on. So it seems like that pit limiter had engaged itself. That's allowed Dirkie to go through. Andrew goes through, and now Morris goes through. Gerard looking very comfortable in second place. He is now down to 5th. Through turn number 5, and Gerard setting himself for crown lift. Morris running himself a little bit wide there. So a little counter steer there by Gerard as he exits crown lift and sets himself up for Jeffs. Great line by both those drivers, just taking a little bit of that inside edge. That was through Corcoran Nissan. Then onto this long sweeping left-hander, the rock sweep. Also got to be careful not to run too wide there, as you will get a slowdown penalty coming out of that exit of that corner. The battle for 4th and 5th. Well, Morris touches the grass, Gerard touches the grass, but neither one of them lands up going off. But Gerard is starting to make this headway here on Morris. We'll just stay with this action here. We see Andrew, the 3rd place driver, he goes through. Hard into the brakes, into the hairpin. Gerard is clean through there compared to last time. Through this tricky inside section, going through Fulton, then through turn number 5, then crown lift. Different lines between the two drivers. I saw Morris, he went for a much tighter line where Gerard went for the wider, quicker line. Safe through Jeff's corner. Down this back straight section and then around the rock sweep. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Gerard is making much headway on Morris at this very moment. Race leader Jakes, who's looking comfortable up front, not getting any pressure from Gerard anymore. See in the background, there we just saw him. That was Dirkie in 2nd place. He's still being followed by Andrew. We'll just have a look at the positions. So Jakes, he still leads with Dirkie 2nd, Andrew's 3rd, Morris is 4th, Gerard is in 5th, Collins 6th, Duppy in 7th place with Clive in 8th. The battle for 4th and 5th is very much on, or very close here by the two drivers, but you can see that they understand exactly how much space they've got. Gerard has a look on the inside as they go into Jeff's. Morris, he has to make way for Gerard as they go through Kukram Nissan. Gerard, he moves himself back up into 4th place. Morris, he now drops into 5th. So we're on the last lap. Andrew currently in 3rd place, or runs himself very wide as he goes into Flexo Pass. That's allowed Gerard to get right up behind him as they go through Castrol, set themselves up for the pothole. Gerard has moved himself right up behind Andrew. I'm sure he'll have a look on the inside here as he goes into the hairpin. Not enough space. Andrew getting a lot of pressure by Gerard, but they've got to be careful because Amaris, he soon will be in this mix as well. As they go through Fulton, Gerard moves to the inside, but that will put him on the outside for this next section. Andrew defends well as he now goes into Crown Lift, but this is where Gerard is extremely strong, and he made the move on Morris the lap before. See Andrew running very wide. Will there be enough space for Gerard as they go into Jeff's side by side? A little nudge there by Gerard. Andrew's not letting off. Oh, Morris, he's now in the mix. Fortunately, Andrew and Gerard touch. That allows Morris, he's on the inside. As they come through the rock sweep, Andrew, he's able to keep that position. Morris, it looks like he will hold that place. So a race winner, Jakes, having started from pole position, will cross the line in first place with Dirkie second. Andrew will finish in third. Morris fourth. Gerard fourth. We'll have to go back and see there, but then Colin sixth, Duppy in seventh place, and Clive in eighth. So we take a look at the sprint to the line between Gerard and Morris, and right at the end it was Gerard who takes that fourth position, and Morris will finish fifth. So we head to the last race of the season. Morris, he starts in ninth place. We move to row number 4. In 8th place is Clive, and he's alongside Colin in 7th place. We move to row number 3, and the Green Mambas drivers, Andrew, he moves himself up into 6th place, and he's alongside Duppy from TTR. We go to row number 4, and our Scottish international Ross, he gets himself out of the pits and puts himself 4th. Dirkie, he puts himself a 3rd on the grid. We move to row number 1, and Gerard, he's in 2nd place, and he's alongside our race winner and pole sitter from race number 1, Jakes. As we wait for the green lights here, race number 2, Gerard has had a great jump off the line there in car number 45. Dirkie, he too in 73. That's Ross in the front, car number 91. As they come down this main straight and set themselves up into Flexo Pass, or big lockup by Jakes, but he manages to hold that line and he remains first. Gerard tucks in behind him with Dirkie right on toe. So that is Jakes, Gerard, Dirkie. That looks like Ross, he's moved himself to the inside. Well, little contact between Gerard and... well, this looks like there's a spin in the background. We'll have to go back and see what happened there. You can see Andrew had a great run going into the hairpin. A little bit of a luck-up, but he does avoid hitting Duppy. Obviously, knowing Duppy was on the outside, Andrew tightens up, not seeing that Colin had moved himself to the inside. And that unfortunately put Andrew into Duppy, and Colin, he was the one, unfortunately, he loses out of that contact. We jump on board with Ross in 4th place. Jakes leads with Dirkie 2nd, Gerard in 3rd, Ross here in 4th. Very different picture if we have a remember back to what had happened in race number 1, where Jakes basically ran away with the field. But he's now getting a lot of pressure here by our championship leader, with Jakes only recovering a couple of points from his win over Dirk. As they go into the rock sweep, Ross gets very close to the back of Gerard. These cars are very, very sensitive to the slipstreaming down the straight. We'll see if Ross will have a look on the inside as they go into this turn number 1, Flexo Pass. Gerard's a little bit too far away. Oh, big lock up there by Jakes. So Gerard, he also locks up. Gerard, he runs wide and allows Ross, our Scottish international, to move up the position. Ross now moves himself into third place. Oh, big oversteer moment there by Ross, having hit that curb as he went through the pothole. And hard on the brakes here at the hairpin. Gerard in fourth place is getting some pressure from Andrew and Duppy from TTR as they go through this inside section. Come through turn 5 and then enter into Crown Lift. For Andrew taking a very tight line, taking a little bit of that curve with him. They go through Jeffs and set themselves up for Cookram Nissan. Jake still leads with Durkee second, Ross third, Gerard is fourth, Duppy is fifth, Andrew seventh. That's Marius putting some pressure there on Andrew. Much tighter line there by Marius. It looks like he'll get the run on Andrew coming down the main straight. We'll stay with this action as they cross the line to begin lap number 2. Wow, Andrew just closes the door there on Marius. Marius sees him coming and allows Andrew to go through. Up front, the leaders, Jakes and Durkee. Durkee is not giving Jakes any breathing room. As they go around that long sweeping right-hander at Crown Lift. Durkee's making it extremely difficult for Jakes to get away. You saw Ross, that car is sliding all over the place. You can see how that suspension is compressing as he's throwing it into the corners. Beginning lap number 3, and Marius has found his way to the back of Andrew once again. Will Marius have a look in the kink going into turn number 1? Big lock up there by Andrew. That would have pushed himself a little bit wide there. That will allow Marius to get a lot closer. See, Marius had a much better drive coming out of that turn number 1. Well, Andrew's run wide. That's unstabilized that car. He's gone very defensive. Yeah, it looks like Andrew had to take that slow down penalty. That's allowed Marius to move himself up. And now his next target in the positions would be Duppy. Dirk's really starting to put some pressure here on Jakes. Oh, Dirk runs wide. That's going to unfortunately allow Jakes to get away. We'll keep Dirk in shot and let's have a look at the positions. So Jake still leads with Dirk second, Ross is in third with Gerard fourth, Duppy fifth, Marius is in 6th, Andrew 7th, Clive in 8th and Colin in 9th place. Go to the middle of the field and that's Marius starting to put some pressure on Duppy. Well, that looked like Gerard in car number 45. He'd got it very sideways. I don't see him in the picture. There he is there rejoining the track. So Gerard, he unfortunately spun it coming out of the hairpin, and that's allowed Duppy to move himself up into 4th place. Marius is now 5th. Gerard, he's dropped down to 6th, and Andrew starting to put pressure on him on 7th. As the field go through here at Jeff's, setting themselves up for Cookram and Nissan. This is where Marius has been making a lot of his passes. Duppy's taken a very tidy line coming through that corner, so that will unfortunately not allow Marius to make any impact on him at this stage. Back to the front of the pack we go. Oh, Jakes has a big lockup. You can see Durkee is right behind him. The two championship contenders are fighting it out here in this last race. If these guys would finish like this, Durkee would be crowned champion. But I'm sure Jakes is just wanting to take this win, because now they're fighting for pride and not so much the championship, because it pretty much wrapped up by Durkee at this stage. Or Jakes runs very wide. He'll have to come off the power, take the slowdown penalty. So championship leader Durkee, he now moves to the front and starts leading this race. Definitely not what Jakes had in mind, I'm pretty sure about that. Lap 7, this is the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. Oh, big lock up there by Ross. Duppy, he's gone wide, that's allowed Morris to take that tighter line on the inside. But Duppy will have the inside going into that next kink. Hard on the brakes as they go into Fulton. Through that turn at number 5. Then through Crown Lift, sorry. Duppy really starting to put pressure here on Ross. You see the different setups. Ross's rear is sliding all over the place. I think Ross might have the loose setup and Duppy taking the stable. Duppy just showing Ross that he's on the inside, but Ross taking a much faster outside line. Duppy, he tightens up. I think Ross, with having the looser setup, he'll get the drive down that main straight. But that's now put him under pressure with Marius. Marius staying very wide. Will he try the undercut going into this turn 1? Yes, he has. It looks like he's made it work for him as well. So Marius, he's now moved himself up into 4th place. Yeah, we chase Duppy staying with this battle. Well, Marius nearly went into the back of Ross there. As they go through Jeff's, you can see Ross's car is a lot looser compared to both Marius and Duppy. Ross is really fighting, getting that power down. Ross moving to the inside, going defensive. Duppy is going tighter, Marius is going tighter. Oh, there's contact between Marius and Ross. That's allowed Duppy to move up. Oh, contact between between Marius and Duppy. Just want to have a see where Marius is. He's still in this battle. But Duppy now moves to the inside. Ross doesn't see him coming. That's Ross and Duppy off here in turn number 1. That allows both Marius and Gerard to go through. Gerard now in 4th place and Marius in 3rd. We jump to the front of the pack to take a look at the positions. Durkee, he still leads here on lap number 9. Jakes is 2nd. Marius is 3rd with Gerard 4th. Duppy is 5th. Andrew is in 6th with Ross in 7th. Colin is 8th with Clive in 9th position. Lap number 10. Heading into the hairpin, Marius has a look on Gerard. Gerard currently in 3rd place with Marius in 4th. Well, Gerard runs wide. Marius is able to get that power down. Gerard starting to make his way through the field after having spun in that hairpin a few laps earlier. Great shot of this battle as they go through Crown Lift. Gerard is very tidy on the brakes, getting that power on nicely, so that unfortunately doesn't give Marius any advantage on him at this moment. As they come through pothole, well, that looks like Gerard went a little bit wide there. Not too sure whether that would have given him a slowdown penalty or not. Great line there by Marius coming out of that hairpin as they go through Fulton. Takes a little bit of that inside curb through turn 5 and here into a Crown Lift. Gerard starting to pull away from Marius. coming to the end of a lap number 11, and we can see Dirkie is still getting pressured here by Jakes. Jakes, having won the first race and put himself on pole for the second race, is really not letting Dirkie take this win easily. So we're on a lap number 12, and Dirkie, he seems to have pulled away from Andrew. Unfortunately, Andrew not being able to keep that momentum going to make an overtake. And here Dirkie is sitting very comfortable in 5th place. Lap number 13. Oh, that's Jakes having a little rub on the inside there of Dirkie. Dirkie still leads the race as they go into the pothole. Well, Jake looks like he went a little bit wide, but got a great run. We'll have a look on the inside. I don't think there's enough space. Well, he does go. That unfortunately does put Jakes off, but the two drivers don't seem to have too much damage, so they both carry on. But that's the problem if you go in the same speed. It's very difficult to find that gap and actually make headway on your opponent. Lap 14. Andrew starting to put pressure here on Dirkie. Dirkie currently in 5th. Dirkie's run very wide. Andrew sees him coming back onto the track, makes some space, and Andrew, he now moves himself up into 5th, and that's Dirkie now dropping down into 6th. Starting lap number 15, Gerard and Marius are at it once again. Gerard got a great drive coming out of the last corner, moves himself to the inside, side by side through turn 1. Marius able to get that power down. He holds on to his 3rd place. And after all that hard work, Andrew keeping Dirkie down, he unfortunately gets a slowdown penalty. He moves over and allows Dirkie to go past and take that position back. Dirkie back to 5th, Andrew down to 6th. We're halfway through lap number 15. Dirkie, he still leads with Jakes right up behind him. These two have been battling for a majority of this race now. Jakes thought he might have had a little run on Dirkie as they come into the last corner. Jakes will tuck up behind Dirkie, looking to get that slipstream going into turn number 1. Dirkie will cross the line to begin lap number 16, the final lap of this race. All pretty tidy through turn number 1 by both the drivers, but looks like Jakes had a better run coming out there. He'll go through the little Castrol kink, touch of the brakes through the pothole. Both drivers keeping it in the limits. Well, Jakes has a look on the inside of big contact on the back of Dirkie. Jakes slowing down, allowing Dirkie to take that place back. As they go through Fulton, then through turn number 5. Around Crown Lift. Jakes is once again right on the back of Dirk. As they prepare to go through Jeffs. Tidy by both the drivers. No penalty needed there by any one of them through Cookram Nissen. Dirkie goes defensive this time. Jakes attacks once again. Jakes moves to the outside. Dirkie holds that middle line. Dirkie will have the drag race down the main straights. Dirkie, he will cross the line in 1st place with Jakes a well fought 2nd. Gerard will come home in 3rd with Marius 4th. Dirkie in 5th, Andrew 6th, Ross in 7th, Colin in 8th, and Clive in 9th place. Now that the racing is done, we're able to take a look at the final standings. In 1st place we have Dirk from Tosco. He comes home as champion with 252 points. He's ahead of Jakes in second on 237, with Marius taking that final position on the podium with 226. Bruno will end off in fourth, having not entered in this race, finishing on 201 points, with Gerard from Tosco coming home in fifth with 200. Ross, our Scottish international, he unfortunately is out of the top 5 with 191 points. Guys, if you enjoyed watching this championship, please give us a like and subscribe, and look out for our 2 new championships starting soon. Thanks for watching, yos.